Good evening, everyone. This is RJL Network. Just thought I'd go ahead and do what I call a state of the network address, I guess. Somebody told me that Al Red Sox fan goes ahead and does his own does his chats with his fans and such, and ID Gesture does that as well. And some people, thought, well, Robert, you should go ahead and do the same thing once in a while. Al Red Sox fan has his fireside chats, and so I thought, well, you know what? I just went ahead and just ended the 79 season. I took a break from streaming for the weekend. So I thought maybe I go ahead and do a state of the network address and just talk to you guys, talk about anything you like on the network concerning baseball, war games, stuff that I have that I picked up over the time. Got lots of cool stuff that came in recently that I've been purchasing. So I thought I'd just say hello to everybody in the chat. Let's see. Steeler fan in Bears Den. How you guys doing there? How you guys doing? Good to see you guys. Yeah, I just thought, it's the friendly chat. Guys can talk to me about, whatever you like, kind of like what Al Red Sox fan and Jester did. So, and it kind of on a spur of the moment kind of thing. I really wasn't planning on, doing this. And I said, well, kind of bored. So, here I am, and trust me, I the 1961 season I was waiting, but for inside pitch, but I thought I'd just go ahead and give you guys a hello and have everybody say hello to me in the chat and such, and show you lots of stuff that I picked up recently, during the time being of inside pitch games and games and what you call it. Is it too bright here? That's about right. Let's see here. A little bright, isn't it? Yeah, that's not good. So how is everybody doing? Just a friendly chat. Guys can speak, what you like, what you guys really thought of everything, and still getting over COVID, huh? Yeah, that wasn't fun when I had it. That wasn't fun when I had it, but it wasn't really that really that terrific. I had it for 3 weeks. Kind of messed up a lot of stuff, for me. Took me out of work for 3 weeks and such. How you doing there, Kevin? Good to see you. Another reason why I do this, some people really not everybody knows what I look like, so I thought I'd show my ugly mug. Salvador America and Sean 1113. Let's see here. Yeah, no, good, good. How's Mrs. America doing? Hope she's doing okay there. Hope she's doing all right. Yeah, my Mets are basically hanging on. We're doing just fine. It's early. It's June. I'm not worried about it. If you're a Mets fan right now, you just want to. If you're a Mets fan right now, you just want to win games, and that's it. Worry about the playoffs later. It's June. Why worry about the playoffs? Just win ball games. Just win ball games. Dan Douglas, good to see you there, Mr. D. Good to see you there. So, unlike the season review and reveal show that I had, this is different. This is just a chat. We could talk about inside pitch. We could talk about other games I got, other games that I've been picked up, Marvel Champions, Arkham Horror, whole bunch of stuff here. A game that ID Jester thought I'd never pick up, but did. Late Gulf from Second World War at Sea just showed up today. I got a whole bunch of cool stuff that came in recently that I was able to pick up off of eBay, and a friend and a guy from down here, Company Heroes board game. I have that here. I have all the expansions. It's cool as hell. I've yet to take it apart. Um, it's huge, pretty big. But yeah, getting ready to the NBA Finals. Boston and the Warriors should be fun tonight to see if Golden State can hold out there. You've actually started and played a full inside pitch game version two. Version two. He's actually at version three, is what he calls it. His final rules right now is actually version three, is what he calls it. But I guess if you want to call it version two, that's good. You've actually started and played a full inside pitch. Inside pitch to me is just exciting. Come on, I'll use the one before that. Okay. Inside pitch. Come on, guys. I mean, really, I understand a lot of Strat fans. I know you got Stratomatic, and Stratomatic is known for its, Stratomatic is known, for its excellent rating system, and it is. Stratomatic usually has their ratings down pat. Um, very good split results, of course, something that baseball with the demos likes. But you know, just I understand how good Stratomatic would be in there. Thoughts about the Dolphins? I have no thoughts about the Dolphins. You don't know, Sean. You don't know how many times every year they say the Dolphins are going to be great. The Dolphins are going to be great, and we wind up laying eggs all season long. So to me, it's a wait and see attitude. Yes, on paper, it looks like we may have one of the best offenses, but we'll find out. Still got a way to go yet. Training camp's not for 6 weeks. So right now, I'm happy with the offseason acquisitions the Dolphins did, but I really, right now, my mode is not on the Dolphins. My mode right now is on the Mets. They're having an awesome season last night. Who am I picking tonight? Celtics or Warriors? I like the Warriors at home. I like the Warriors at home, Mr. America. I like the Warriors at home. Absolutely. I don't see the Warriors losing tonight and having to win a game 6 on the road. I just don't think so. I see the Warriors winning tonight. But then again, it's been a weird series so far. I felt the Warriors would have already had this series in hand, but the Celtics are giving the Warriors everything they can handle. Brian Patterson, good to see you, Mr. P. DBIP. Yeah, no, should you be worried? No, everything's cool. You saw that Chris might be coming out with some decade seasons. Yeah, he is. He has come. He is thinking about doing some decade seasons, which I support. But I really told him, I said, Chris, if you really want to move it right now, you really need to get the 90s and the 2000s. And right now, if you can get as many 90s and 2000 seasons out, you're going to have a monopoly on those seasons at this moment. A lot of other game engines besides APA and Fall Classic Baseball, which have all the seasons in baseball. All right, but there are not many game engines that have okay that have 90s and 2000s. I mean, who has 90s and 2000 seasons? Not Payoff Pitch. Payoff Pitch only has like what, a couple of 90 seasons, and only a couple, maybe like one 2000, the 2001 season, and that's it. Not Replay Baseball. Replay Baseball hardly has any 80s seasons, which disappoints me. And Replay Baseball, Replay hardly has any 80s seasons. They have hardly any 90s seasons. They got 2000 seasons from 2005 and up, but that's it. Not Replay Baseball. I mean, I told Chris, I said to him, I went to him, I said, Chris, get the 90s and the 2000s out. There are people begging for 90s and 2000s. Get them done. I gave him a good schedule, actually. I gave him a schedule. I said, your next 2 historical seasons should be 1957, which is the one season he has in a hole between 56 and 58, and then 1990, and then move your way up from there. Um, you know, um, 1990 then 1991 and 2001, 1993, 2002. You don't like the steroid era. I don't understand the steroid era to me was still one of the most fun baseball period to watch. Okay, so everybody was on the juice, but it was a lot of fun to watch, and it would be a lot of fun to roll. I would love to roll the 2001 season, to do that one with you guys in a you know, in a replay. 2001 with the Mariners and the Yankees and Diamondbacks. I understand the steroid era, yeah, but 1997, forget about the era itself. How about some of the teams that played during those years? The 1997 Marlins literally bought the World Series, and one of the better World Series is played between the Marlins and the Indians. The 2003 Marlins, the 2001 Mariners, maybe the best regular season team in baseball history to not win a title. It would be exactly there, Kevin. He bought payoff pitchers for 2001. See, I tell Chris, I say, you got to get the 90s out before you think about going back further than 1956 to maybe going back to the dead ball era or something like that. Get your 90s and 2000 seasons out. I keep on telling him that. And he says that the 90s are on the board, so he should be working on the 90s now and maybe the 2000s. I told him, I said, I gave him a good schedule. I said, do 57 and 1990, then 1991, 2001, 1993, 2002, 1994, and I'll put that. And even though I did the 1994 restart, we did not do a replay. I would throw the 1994 season back into the selection show. 94, 2000, what is it? 2003, or 1994 and what 2004. Come on, we got to do 2004. The Boston Red Sox finally breaking the curse. 1995 he has, so 1996 and 2005 and 1997, 2006, and he's done. Then he just has to do 1999, and that's it. And he's got everything from 56 to 2021. And literally, I guess it takes him about, I don't know, maybe a couple of months to do an inside pitch season. I will admit, though, he did these last, 1960 and 1987. He only released several weeks ago. He only did just 1960, 1963, and 2021 just recently. So, obviously, you can get the seasons done pretty quickly. But the thing about it, he's a one-man show. He has to also do inside the crease, which I'm actually looking forward to see if he's going to do the 95-96 season for inside the crease. Inside the paint for basketball, and of course inside blitz and inside the cup. He does all of these by himself. He doesn't have anybody else. He's got somebody that writes the programs for the PC versions. And I always recommend people, if you want to learn how to play these games, download the PC version. Download it. Download the PC version. It's pretty cheap, and it's a great way to practice how to play the games on cards and dice. So, inside pitch is just so much fun. Come on, how about some of those games we played in the 1979 postseason? Those games were crazy. I got to admit, I got to agree with some of the chat members. The 1979 postseason had to be the best postseason I've done yet. And not that all of them and not that any of them were bad. Not that any of them were bad. 1994, the 1994 restart, we had that crazy, what was it? That, 1994, not 94, the 85 replay. We had that crazy Cardinals Dodgers game at inside pitch, where I pretty much had to use a pitcher at a position, I had to use a pitcher at a position area, had to have a pitcher play position. 1976, we had a natural cycle with Mike Schmidt. 1981 was still a good postseason. 1994 payoff pitch. We had the no hitter, something that Steeler fan doesn't like to discuss. Yeah, I think you're right, Sean 11. Sean, I think 79 was the best. I think 79 was the best postseason I've done yet out of inside pitch. And who knows what 1961 is going to bring. 1961 is going to be fun. Believe it or not, I've already got 1961 ready to go. I already have. Believe it or not, I could start that team. I could start that now. Here's 1961 FastScore, and here's the FastScore sheets. Already got the first schedule block made. The French players are already made. I already got the French players printed and set with their teams. Already got the schedule block. Already got the logos for that year, and of course pictures of the ballparks. 1961. I mean, come on. That's going to be a great year to play. I mean, 10 American League teams, 8 National League teams. The top 5 American League teams make the playoffs. Okay. But they must have winning records. If one team makes it that doesn't have a winning record, it will not get in this time. So they must have winning records. I will modify the playoff format if I have to. Top 4 teams in the National League will get in. Does anyone know what happened to channel Cards and Dice Tabletop Baseball? His Bob Gibson replay. Cards and Dice. Well, you mean Tony Porter? Tony Porter at C&D? He's doing a 1961 Yankees replay with APA, with Basic APA, which is actually a lot of fun to watch. No. Cards and Dice Tabletop Baseball. Bob Gibson replay. I don't know. Maybe I don't know who that was. I don't know. Different guy. Okay. All right. So yeah, no, I mean 1961. I already looked through the rosters. I mean, 1961, come on, Koufax, Drysdale, Maris, Mantle, Mays, McCovey, Mazeroski, Spahn, a very young Carl Yastrzemski in his first season with the Red Sox. You know, Clemente, of course. You know, K-Line. You know, some Hank Aaron. Of course, Hank Aaron. I mean, really. Hall of Famers all over the place in that season. Historic ballparks. Historic stadiums going in, you know. Crosley Field. Connie Mack, which used to be known, of course, as Shibe Park. Griffith Stadium, where the Senators played. You know, Forbes Field. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, where the Dodgers played that year. And L.A. Wrigley Field for the Angels. Old Yankee Stadium. Jesus. I looked through the 1961 season. I said, this is going to be a lot of fun to play. This is going to be a lot of fun to play. I was upset with the New York last night. Only 18 runs. Talk about letting a team off the hook. Yeah, the Yankees, I'll tell you, Cammy Poo, they didn't quite make it in 79, but they had the game of the year. I don't know if you watched that game that I rolled against the Brewers, game 5 of the ALDS between the Brewers and the Yankees. That I've had a lot of comebacks, but that had to be the greatest comeback ever. You know, really. Check that game out if you didn't watch it there, Cammy Poo. That was that was definitely the game of the year for 1979. It had to be, you know, down 2-2. You're down 7-2, top of the 9th inning, 2 outs, and you come back and tie the game. Oh God, 5 runs. Sometimes, you know, and the thing about it, what's even better about that, no, you know, no junky AI, no gamey AI. You know, no gamey AI, no software glitch, no whatever. It was all done by the dice, and the dice, and the dice. That was what's so great about Cards and Dice. There is no cheating, unless, of course, you just decide not to do what the dice tell you to do. And if you make a mistake, it's one thing. But if you literally try to cheat, you really can't cheat. The dice are telling you, hey, this is the result. This is what you got to go with. You know, this is what you got to go with, and it just amazes me really how the dice rolled, where the Yankees with 2 outs, and all of a sudden they come back and tie that game up and they win it in extras. I mean, that was definitely the game of the year. And then, of course, FastScore Baseball. FastScore Baseball gives you a few surprises. The Montreal Expos won. They got 108 wins, 109 wins, I think, in that from FastScore, and yet they didn't make the World Series. FastScore is just a quick way of getting results, and yeah, you get a few surprises. But then again, you do have teams that actually get up there, and yet a lot of people tell me, well, FastScore usually gives you the teams that win. Well, not this year. The only team that won the division, all right, that historically won the division in 79 was the Angels. The Angels won the division in 79. FastScore rolled the Brewers, the Expos, and the Astros winning the division in FastScore. So you know what? That's fine. You want some surprises. You don't want the historic. If you want the historical teams to, win the series, win play the way they did in the World Series or in the regular season, then why even roll the season out? Just say, okay, here are the 4 teams: Baltimore, California, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati, and just do a playoffs, and that's it. Why even play a season out? Mr. Steve Tower joins us. Thank you. Good to see you there, Mr. Steve Tower. Check out that amazing channel, by the way. He is amazing in everything he does. Just a friendly chat there, Steve. Just, a state of the net. Let's, Al Red Sox fan has his friends of chat as FOC. So I have what I call the SOTN, the state of the network, starring yours truly, RJL, Robert. So this is a state of the network address, shall we say. Complete another season, my 5th, taking a little break. I got some Marvel Champions I want to do a little bit here. Got 5 weeks to play with before I start 61. Got some other stuff I'll show you. Don't know if I'll play it, but I may show it to you. Might need to steal this idea. Oh, I can't take the idea. Don't steal it from me. You'll be stealing it from Al Red Sox fans. His idea. I give credit where credit is due. Al Red Sox fan does this, and he gets the credit. He's the king of the hill. FastScore, RJL had same division winners, except both Sox beat out Tigers by 1 game in AL East. I was happy with the results. Yeah, I mean, it does happen. I mean, it all depends on dice. The funny thing is, if we were to redo the 1979 season again with the same FastScore and all that, I guarantee you there would be a few different results. There'd be some changes, absolutely. And it would be different, actually. Maybe some of the results would be better, some would be different. Maybe the Expos wouldn't win the division. Maybe they would again. Maybe the Pirates would win the division. And that's what gives us the playoff. That's what gives us the postseason, because it's all about the postseason, right? The regular season is the appetizer. The postseason is the main course, right? The postseason where we get the best games. Looking forward to 61. Can you share what those games are behind you? Glenn Bonesteel is about your baseball, but the own Sherman Leader just Tiger. No, it's not just about baseball. It's about anything, guys. You want to know what games I have behind me? All right, that's oh sure, no, absolutely. Bucks Expo. Yeah, sure. Let's have a look here. Let's see. How about we got a few here. We got a few. Game I just got. Something that ID Jester said, Robert, you'll never get it. Well, Kirk, I got it. And some more games from all Second World War at Sea, Horn of Africa, Strike South, Bomb Alley, Midway. I got all the Second World War at Sea stuff. Even stuff that's very hard to get, like Sea of Iron. I got pretty much all the Second World War at Sea stuff. Pretty much all of it. The only thing I'm missing is just some scenario books, but I got all the main games. There's, of course, the Stratomatic. And thanks, by the way, to My Basement Media Productions. He printed me out the French players for the 86 season for Stratomatic. So I get to put that with this, And let's see, what else can I show you here? We got Memoir 44. We got all the Memoir 44 stuff. We got Corsair Leader, Zero Leader, U-Boat Leader, all the leader games and such. I have Sherman Leader. Yes, it's behind me. I have Sherman Leader. I have Corsair Leader, Zero Leader. I'm waiting for Spruance Leader to be released. Now let me show you. I'll show you also. Here are a couple of holy grails of war games for those of you wondering. I mean, I also have the war games. Of course, I got Pacific War. Of course, I got that. Had to, but I got a couple of holy grails and a good deals too. Advanced Pacific Theater of Operations from SPI, and this game, very hard to locate. Advanced European Theater of Operations, very hard to find at a good price. I got very lucky with that one. Got lots of stuff. Oh, and how much different Sherman Leader plays side the fact American tanks. Doesn't change. No difference, really, Glenn. No difference. Sherman Leader and Tiger Leader pretty much play the exact same way. Pretty much exact same way. Now, I want to show you something here, too. Hold on a minute. I don't know if anybody knows about this, but check this out. I'm not the king of eBay, but I got lucky with it. The Company Heroes board games. You want to talk about a beautiful game? You want to talk about a beautiful game? Hold on a second. I'm not going to do an unboxing. I just want to show you real quick. Check out the miniatures. Not going to do an unboxing. I just wanted to show you a little bit what I also picked up. They're doing another version of Rules 2.0. If you guys wonder what this is, it's Company Heroes board game. It is maybe the most beautiful game I think you could put to the tabletop. Hold on. It all comes in a big case and all that. Real looking buildings that can be painted, anything you like. So, I just thought I'd show you some of those things that I got. Of course, I have all the Marvel champions and stuff. But we could talk about anything there. Yeah, 79. Let's see here. Let me catch up on a chat here. He's about to expose, scared the mess out of 79. Like I said, I was very, very, I was very surprised that Pittsburgh beat Montreal. The Expos. The thing about the Expos were, according to the looking of the inside pitch cards, maybe I need to. Okay, here. According to the inside pitch cards, I really thought I thought the Expos were going to beat the Pirates at no problem. I was shocked the Pirates didn't beat Montreal. I was not surprised when the Astros beat them, though. I was not surprised at that. Now you want a cold Pepsi. Sorry about that. Now Coke is where it's at. Now I like them all. So I mean, it's just are those like Panzer Blitz? No, not really. Panzer, not quite. It's a little bit different. It's more of a what do you call it? More solitaire design. It's more of a solitaire design. For those of you that want to check up on that Company Heroes board game, just Google it. Trust me, you'll come up with some pretty nice. You'll come up with some pretty nice stuff. Jeremy Brooks joins us here. Good to see you, my friend. And Brian B finally shows up. But good to see you, Brian. Now just a friendly chat. That's all. Just a friendly chat. Talk for about an hour or so. That's about it. I'm not gonna go as long as our Red Sox fan. He goes a while because he always has something to talk about. And the stuff he talks about is amazing. He's last to talk about the wrestling. There's wrestling. I'm not much into wrestling as I used to be, but I'll tell you what, the information he brings is just amazing. That man is just full of information, and he's usually right. you know, and yeah, so looking forward to the 61 season. Like I said, I could start that tonight if I wanted to. All the cards are done, schedule is made, all the logos I got for set up, the ballparks, all done. Could easily begin the 79 season tonight if I wanted to, but I need a break. Screaming at the desk, every night for 4 months does wear a guy out. It does wear a guy out. It's amazing I actually do that every night. The only night I don't do it is the only night to do is if something comes up and I can't be here to do it, and of course, I get those in between month breaks, so I take a day off to rest. You guys wear me out. What kind of tabletop war game would you consider starting with? Eh, whatever you're interested in there is, Sean. Whatever you're interested in. See you there, Later, Mr. Tower. Take care, my good friend. It's always a pleasure to have you, Steve. You are one of the best reviewers out there. You do know your stuff. You're another one of the reasons why I decided to go with do this as well. Do this kind of board stuff. So yeah, I think you should do the same thing, kind of like with Al Red Sox fan. Do the Tower of Power. Do the Tower of Power hour. That sounds good to you. Just like I now call mine State of the Network. Sounds good. What was it? So, it's just it's a lot of fun. I mean, it really is a lot of fun. Just going here. But as far as what tabletop war game we can start with, just start with your interest. Are you interested in World War II? You interested in the American Civil War, the Napoleonic Wars, the English Civil War, Korea, Vietnam, modern day Cold War? Are you interested in naval action, tank action, infantry, squad, air battles? I mean, it all depends on what you're interested in there, Sean. Just like for instance, mine is World War II. World War II is my area. I have books on it up the gazebo for World War II. And I know a lot about it from the beginnings of Japan's invasion of China to the dropping of the bomb, the signing the surrender on board the Missouri. I know a lot about it. I do like, and when it comes to modern day, I prefer modern. I'm really waiting on Spruance Leader, which I kickstarted. So I'm waiting for that to show. I can't wait to get Spruance Leader because I love Cold War naval combat, against the Soviet Kirov class type battle cruisers and, the Nimitz, United States Nimitz class. Spruance Leader looks like that's going to be a lot of fun. He's doing a Stuka Leader, which is the German version of Corsair, and Zero Leader. That I'm going to probably grab as well because I like the Leader series. I really wish he would do a fleet leader for World War II. I mean, no, he's doing one. He's doing Spruance Leader. I'd like to see Spruance Leader for World War II, something like that. I would like to see a Spruance Leader for World War II. Vietnam era, there you go. There's some great Vietnam games out there. There's some great Vietnam games out there. GMT is reprinting Vietnam 65 to 75. One of the better games from victory, one of the better Vietnam War games, kind of like, in a way, Vietnam 65 to 75 is in a way called the Pacific War of Vietnam war games. A lot of people consider it that. Just like my favorite game of all time is Pacific War from Mark Herman. As far as war games go, I love Pacific War. It actually is easy to play. I want to get it on the tabletop. I don't know how. I just don't have enough room on this desk to do it. I can barely do the baseball stuff on this desk. I can barely do the baseball stuff on it. But it's just that's what does best. Thank you there, Bruce. Yeah, no, I'm glad you guys enjoy me doing this. I got to admit, my subscribers has jumped ever since I told everybody I got 400 subscribers. I think I got 55 subscribers in the last 2 to 3 weeks. I've never had that many joining the network that quickly. Just a lot of I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun, meeting new people, you know, meeting new people, that kind of a camera that pans on an arm. Yeah, exactly. Bruce, that's another thing a way you can do it. But I still don't have enough room on this desk. If I was to do a full-blown war game, I'd have to get my own table and I have to set up a camera specifically designed for it, which I could do, but not while I'm living here with my mom and helping her out and taking care of her. I don't think I'd have to have setup thing there. Kurt Bergling. Yes, he's doing a 1970 Cubs replay with Fall Classic, and ID Jester, by the way, is doing a World Series greats with Fall Classic as well. You just check out his introduction to that. It's good to see Kirk. Looks like he's doing okay. We were all concerned about him. If you're out there, Kirk. My best to you and your family, my friend. You make sure you continue to get better. Remember, you have only one job. You have only one job, and that's get better. Do not fail me. Do not disappoint me. Do not let me down. I will be very annoyed. But it's 1979. It's the inside pitch I just think it's the. I mean, every time that people say, "Oh, it's the best game," it's not the best game system. Well, what is the best game system? Realism or fun? What's more important? Having the game realistic where it just goes boring, or fun where every roll of the dice you really have no idea? Baseball with the demos. Yeah, your 25th. The Mets lineup you made for my 2015 Mets is kind of meh. May have to work with that. But yeah, you're right, Kevin. There is no perfect system. So I say there is no perfect system, but there is a perfect system there is a system that's perfect for someone, just like baseball demos. He loves Stratomatic, and he has every right to like Stratomatic. Probably the best split ratings in all of the engines. Okay. Stratomatic, he's usually their ratings usually are right on the money, okay, and it actually flows pretty well. APA, very very simple game if we play basic. Although to me, playing APA, you got to play master. I just don't know, but for people that love APA, like APA Brian, APA basic flows so quickly you can get a baseball game done in like less than half an hour. For APA. APA is one of maybe the easiest game to play because of how quickly you can play it, how the charts go ahead and show you exactly what you want to do, and so I mean that's what's about APA. Fall Classic is like a combination of like APA, payoff pitch, and Stratomatic in its own way. Triple Play Baseball, another 50-50 kind of setup. Pursue the Pennant or Dynasty League, 50-50 setup. Payoff pitch. I fell in love with it when I first played payoff pitch. I really did. I really did fall in love with payoff pitch. But I gotta, at one point I said payoff pitch was the best game ever, and that was before I played inside pitch. And and I still love payoff pitch. I have every one of my payoff pitch seasons. I still have them all here. But I know it's the platoon splits. I understand that. That's what everybody complains is the platoon splits with inside pitch. I get that. And we talked to Chris about it, blue in the face. And he says, well, what's to say he can't hit a home run against another handed hitter? Now, as I said, and as I said, if you have issues with the game, with the rating systems, then you can go ahead and adjust the cards. Baseball demos, Dave does a great job adjusting the cards. If he sees a cookie cutter card for inside pitch, he usually goes into Baseball Reference or Retro Sheet, probably Retro Sheet, gets the information he wants from that, and he'll go ahead and change the card. So if he didn't hit any home runs against lefties or righties, he'll change it. That's fine. Me, I just leave it alone. The reason why I leave it alone is because the game engine is designed to use the cards that Chris designs them as designed. That's the reason why. The game engine is designed to use the cards as designed. But as I said, everybody can make their changes with it, Yeah, the combo cards, just like baseball demo says, and baseball and Dave is right in what he says, but I just leave it alone. I just leave it alone. He did make some errors in some ratings on his early seasons, which I've heard now. He basically says like for instance, Don Mattingly in 1985, he's got ranked as his range is a 2. He said it should be now a range of 5 because the information he got from there has now been changed because 85 was one of the first seasons he did. So if anyone plays the 1985 season, change Don Mattingly's range to a 5, he'd be fine. If you want to, it's up to you. Play it like Dave says, play the game you want the way you choose to play it. Not enough defensive influence of payoff pitch. Yeah. Another thing I had with payoff pitch is that every time you roll high, it's probably going to be an out. That's the one thing I love. That's the one thing I love. That's the one thing I love about inside pitch. You got to read the cards. Okay. Inside pitch, every single card is different. So unlike certain games where if you throw an 11, it's a home run, or a 66, it's a home run. Okay. You actually got to look at the card. You got to look at the card. He did it in a way. And so people get up and say, well, you shouldn't have to roll the dice twice. That's up to you. The combo cards, Dan, are where he has a cookie cutter card. Cookie cutter cards are like if he has, like, say, a strikeout rating of, let's say they both have the same strikeout rating, the same walk rating, and the same home run rating. But the batter probably had maybe 150 at-bats against righties, but maybe only 25 at-bats against lefties. So he went ahead and just makes it the same on both sides, even though maybe he didn't hit a single home run against left-handed pitching or something. His feeling on that was, who's to say he wouldn't be able to hit one? Who's to say he wouldn't be able to hit one in a season replay? Nothing wrong with little surprises. Then Baseball Demos brings up History Maker Baseball. History Maker Baseball. History Maker is the most maybe unique baseball engine there is on the market. That's got to be the most unique engine. Do I have it? No. Will I get it? Probably not. I got enough. Inside pitch right now takes I have more fun with inside pitch. And you guys know I really don't like chart-based games where I have to read a book in order to find out what happened. Inside pitch, look at the card. Oh, it's a ground out to short. Done. Game over. Don't have to turn no pages. But that being said, though, that's my opinion. But is History Maker a blast, like Astros Reefer said? 100% right. That's why I like watching somebody else play it. That's why when you, Dave, at Baseball Demos, you're doing History Maker Baseball, I was very happy when you're doing it because I'll watch those games. I'll watch you roll it. I'll definitely watch you roll those games. Absolutely. That's a lot of fun. I thought if I ever got a copy of History Maker, I would probably get the History Maker game plus the all-time franchise teams, and that would be it. History Maker does not have enough seasons to do that I do. Doesn't have enough seasons. And yes, Keith Avalon does provide a book where you could create your own. But, and I heard it's very accurate, but, I'd rather see what other people History Maker. And then there's Replay Baseball. Replay Baseball looks like a lot of fun. They just released an all-time franchise card set, which I hear is getting a lot of good reviews. Replay Baseball is excellent. But again, chart-based. I just can't, let's see here. I just can't. Let's see here. I just can't. It's a 17. Let me look in the book. It's a ground out to short. See, I just can't do that. Just can't do it. I just can't do it because you want to look at I just can't do that. What am I storing my inside pitch seasons in? These boxes behind me actually. Show you here real quick. Let's see here. all my inside pitch seasons are stored in. I'm also a member of Uline, so I got boxes. So, like for instance, here, and open it up, and there you go. 1959, 1960, and of course, 1961, which is due set and ready to go. And they're all stored in bags. Every one is put in bags, and I'm also always putting them in bags when I'm done. So all the teams stay in bags throughout the entire season, because I don't want the cards, since I paid for these cards. These aren't printed cards. These aren't, cards done from a PDF. Every single one of my seasons are printed from Chris, and I don't want the cards ruined. So, I protect my stuff. Do I have all the seasons now? I've had all the seasons, Mr. Glenn. I've had all the seasons. I have every season he's printed. Not everything from 1956 to 2021. I have every season he's printed. As soon as he tells me that he's got new seasons he just released, I immediately put the order through. I'm one of the first people he sends stuff to. He also does rely upon me to check to see if there's any errors. Now, not in terms of rating errors. Rating errors I don't look at. I tell him, I said, I can't look for errors. But I do look for misspellings of stadiums, wrong stadium names, if the card has the wrong colors for a player. Well, let's say, since he uses colors, so let's say you have the Cincinnati Reds, a player for Johnny Bench in the Cincinnati Reds, but for some reason, Johnny Bench is in Dodger blue colors. So I would let him know, and he fixes that. And I'm not the only one that does that, of course. A lot of his customers do that too. By the way, there, baseball demos. Check your You do know that the Veteran Stadium card for your 1986 inside pitch is misspelled. Take a picture of it, send him a copy of it. He'll send you a new one with the correct spelling of Veterans. Remember we had Oakland Coliseum. He forgot the S in Oakland Coliseum. He's fixed every one of them for me. Every time I see an error, I take a picture of it and I send it to him. Why can't Chris go below 56 again? Because the system he uses, it's a pitch-by-pitch system. He uses a system where he has to find out every pitch that was made. He goes by pitch. That's how his system works. And before 56, getting that information is very difficult for him. He says he might be working on FIP, exactly. FIP. He wants to go back in time further. He hasn't decided what he wants to use yet to get his ratings for them. He doesn't know yet. Right. And he needs exactly MLC. You're correct. And he needs a comprehensive stats for it. And before 56, they don't have it. So he's trying to work on maybe a substitute. I really told him, I said, finish your 90s and 2000s first if you can. But when you decide to go back in time, there are 10 seasons you should do, all right, immediately that will get a lot of play. A lot of play. As I said, Dave, 1990 and 1993, he did said the 90s are not out. He's working on them. He knows he's got to do them because he wants to complete his inventory. He's now working on filling on the holes. So he is working on that. I keep on pushing it. I tell him, I said, really, just get them out. Then go back and do, the earlier seasons. Do like 1919, which would be fun to roll. 1919 or 1908 or 1921, 1927, 1924, 1933, 1947, do those seasons, something like that. But yeah, you're not the only one that wants 1990. Every Reds fan wants 1990. If 1990, if 1990, came out, I told him, I said, if you do the 1990 season, you'll run out of card stock again, just from people from the Reds fans. Chris DeMello, what do I like best about payoff pitch strengths? Very easy to play. Very easy to play, especially if you use the FAC cards as a hybrid. Baseball Demos uses the charts, and that's just awesome. I feel Payoff Pitch is very easy to play. One dice roll usually goes ahead and does it. And yes, of course, card quality. Nobody has better card quality than Payoff Pitch. Nobody has better card quality than Payoff Pitch. If Inside Pitch had that same card quality, oh boy. If Stratomatic had that base card quality, and I don't care what anybody says, Stratomatic, sorry, your card quality is very flimsy. Very flimsy cards. They had much, before they went to the new style, when they had the actual cards, their card quality was so much better back in the day. Their card quality these days is terrible. Is terrible. Fall Classic has excellent card quality as well. Exactly, very good card quality as well. Another thing I like about Payoff Pitch, like Inside Pitch, he cards every single player, and he actually goes even beyond that. He will go ahead and card every single player, and if they're traded, he'll put a player on the one team, and he'll card that player again on another team. So if, remember, like Deion Sanders in 1994, he has a Deion Sanders card for the Reds, and he has a Deion Sanders card for the Braves. So, so for 1994. So he does that. Another thing about Joe Bryant, Payoff Pitch, he cards every player. Inside Pitch cards every player, virtually. Okay, you can download the French players and then print them out on cardstock like I do for every season I do. I print them out on the same cardstock that I get. He uses 100. Inside Pitch uses 110-pound cardstock. Same cardstock I use for the French players. And they still come out pretty good. The defense sheets for Fall Classic are awesome. Yes, they are. Fall Classic is excellent. I just wasn't excited enough when I played it. When I rolled the dice, I said, oh, home run. Roll the dice again, single. Roll the dice again, out. I mean, that was the one thing about Fall Classic. It just wouldn't get me. Payoff Pitch can still be interesting. You can roll the dice, but still something can happen with an error or a range check. That's why I like Inside Pitch. That's why I like Inside Pitch. Inside Pitch, yeah, you got to roll the dice twice, but at least twice, unless of course the pitcher gets an out or it's a strikeout or whatever. Another reason why I like Payoff Pitch and Inside Pitch, the pitcher card comes first. That's another thing about Payoff Pitch and Inside Pitch. The pitcher card comes first. Does the batter go ahead and swing at a ball that's not coming out his way? No, of course not. No. What does baseball start with? Baseball starts with the pitcher. So Payoff Pitch, you got to roll to see what kind of pitch it is. Inside Pitch, you got to roll to see what kind of pitch he's got, what kind of pitch he threw, whether he struck him out, a walk, or pitched him a meatball that he turns into lasagna. The thing about APA and these others, and APA abstracts pitching. I'm sorry, you're trying to tell me a grade A Sandy Koufax is the same thing as a grade A Noah Syndergaard? No. No, no, no. And by the way, the answer is no. So, no, that APA just abstracts pitching. And you can't abstract the number one fundamental in baseball, which is pitching. Yeah, the team colors are also another thing for Inside Pitch. The team colors. And he sometimes messes up on the team colors that I have to tell him, hey, look, they really need to change this. There was no blue, okay, in Cincinnati Reds history, at least not that I know of. So, but no, sometimes it's mostly his toner runs out of stuff. You remember that, right, Douglas? When I was just like, roll the dice, home run. Roll the dice again. Wow. It's high, it's deep, it's gone, it's bye-bye, home run. At least when I do for Inside Pitch, you got to roll and say, oh, it's a possible home run. Let's take a look here. Oh, you just missed it. Oh, no, it's a home run chance. That's the one thing I like about Inside Pitch. Inside Pitch, as I said, to me is the most fun. Come on. How about the games I roll? Come on. I don't remember ever watching a fall classic game, that way. I've never seen a fall classic game go that way. I've never really seen an APA. I have seen APA games where they've been returned. APA Brian is so awesome at basic APA and the Merino boards. He is so awesome at that. APA Brian is so amazing. I love watching him, even though it's basic APA. But for some reason, he rolls some great APA baseball. APA Brian, he just does. He rolls great APA baseball. And there's Tony Porter, who just completed a Status Pro Tom Seaver replay. I told him, I said, you better get inside pitch done now because 1983 is out, and you always said you would do a Tom Seaver 1983 inside pitch replay. Yes, it is great to have APA Brian back too. Exactly. But there's so many game engines out there. Then there's Pine Tar Baseball. Pine Tar is awesome, is an awesome setup by Kurt Bergling. Pine Tar is awesome. What a great setup he uses there too. This is so much there. And then we're not talking about baseball. What about football? Second season, which is excellent. History Maker Hoops now that Play just put out. Dave Gardner has his APA hockey. He's the king. Right now, he's the king of APA hockey. Sorry, Gillies, Sorry, Gillies T-Bowl or P-Jet or G-Puck. I'm sorry, but right now, Dave Gardner is the king of APA hockey. And sooner or later, he's going to be the king of hockey bones, too. You get him, you get his hockey games in there. Dave Gardner knows about it as anybody else. So many great engines out there. It all depends how much fun you have with it. That's all it is. It's all about fun, right, guys? It's all about fun. It's just about fun. Just, if the game is not fun, why play it? If it's not fun, why play it? Fall Classic just wasn't excited. APA wasn't excited. Payoff pitch excited me early on, but then when I realized that every time I roll the dice high, I already know what's going to happen. I really don't even have to look at the cards. Sometimes it makes a difference, but most of the time it didn't. Also in the 1985s, one of the reasons why I switched from 85 payoff pitch to inside pitch, too many pop outs. So I had too many pop flies. His 85 season was a little bit, I don't know, just didn't seem to mesh right. When I started the 85 season, continued the 85 season with an inside pitch, it seemed like it flowed more smoothly. And then, of course, inside pitch says, well, I don't know how to do the base running. Well, okay. I understand the base running can be a little bit interesting, but that's why I created this. That's why I created that. Create your own. Create your own base runner advancement helper, like I did. I really don't even need this. I really don't even need it. I know how the runners use and all that, but still, it's the base running people think it's confusing. I said, not really. Just get the modifier. And another thing about inside pitch, there's inside pitch. Here, I'll show you right here real quick. This is the bunt. This is the bunt chart and the squeeze bunt chart for inside pitch. Okay. This is the symbols for the errors and everything like that. And here are the rest of the stuff here. Okay. So out of all the charts that you see on here, besides the bunt and the squeeze bunt chart, which chart resolves a play for inside pitch? I'll give you a hint. The answer is none. Inside pitch, everything was resolved off the cards. The bunt chart and the squeeze bunt chart are the only charts used, okay, that resolve a play in inside pitch. Everything is off the cards. It doesn't revert you to a chart. It doesn't say go look at chart number 1 to see what happened. It doesn't do that. Everything is off the cards. Stratomatic also, everything's off the cards. However, there are certain charts you have to reference in Stratomatic to resolve a play. Inside pitch, nope. The dice will control everything. The only confusion is when you roll a 6, you have to go to the secondary runner chart. You roll a 6, and then you roll to see, and then you check the outfielder arm, and then roll. If the roll falls into the roll of the outfielder arm, if it falls, like if there's you roll a 6, the outfielder arm is a 3. Okay, roll the next die. If it's a 1, 2, or 3, you know someone's going to be out. 4, 5, or 6 runner holds. Done. Plays over. Plays over. And if you roll another, and if you're rolling out, then you roll, if it's in there, then you roll a third die. A 1, the lead runner advances and the trailing runner is thrown out. 2 to 5, lead runner is thrown out. And depending on how high the die is, the trailing runner will advance a base. If it's a 6, lead runner advances, trailing runner caught in a rundown. That's one of the ways that the Angels beat the Astros in that one game, because you had a rundown and the guy got to third. That was Ralph Garr, I believe. That was what was that, game 5, I think? Was that game 5? Yeah, it was game 5 at the Angels won to take a 3-2 series lead. And like I said, you're right. Look, trust me, Dave. You know how long it took me to get used to inside pitch, but I darn wanted to work. The way you were playing it, Dave, it really is all because of you. The way you were playing it just looked like it was so much fun that I just had to get this game instead. I just loved how it worked. I thought I didn't like Matrix until I realized it's not a Matrix game. It's different. And then, of course, I learned a little bit about how he sets up his cards to create, my own generic pitcher hitting cards, which, well, in 1961, we won't be using these for the World Series. Because in 1961, the DH rule didn't exist yet. So we don't have to worry about designated hitters for a season for 1961 coming up. 189, 19 inside pitch played, and I can't wait to play. That's the thing. You really, I'll be honest with you guys. You really want to know the truth? I'm more, I haven't played any inside pitch the last couple of days, and I got the bug. I want to play. I actually want to play. I really do. I want to play, but I want the time off too. So I'm just relaxing and enjoying my time, and I thought I'd say, I just thought I'd get in with you guys and talk to you. All you guys, I never thought 2 years ago when I started this that I would be talking to great people like all you guys. I really never thought I would be joining such a great hobby of people, Yeah, exactly. Because you play all the variety, and that's what's so great about that, Dave, because you play payoff pitch, inside pitch, status pro, strat, But I never thought I'd be doing this, with a whole bunch of great people like all you guys in the chat. And for all the guys that are not in the chat, they're just watching me. I'll just rant. Yeah, exactly. Replay gamer, of course, as well. The one who plays strat more. Payoff pitch, I really liked a lot until I really got into inside pitch. Starting to play 1978, the RJL method will use PC replay to some other games. That's cool. That's cool. I would probably use PC replay, to I probably would use PC replay, instead of, well, that's not true. Action PC baseball is what I use to get the current rosters for the teams, so that, and of course, put the players where they belong. Now, Action PC baseball made a little error in the 1961 season, which I had to edit, which I edited on my own. After game 153 of the 1961 season, Mickey Mantle was hospitalized. I think it got a bad flu shot, and Mickey Mantle was hospitalized. But Action PC replay still has him active from 1953 on. He didn't play any more baseball until the World Series, so I had to edit his activeness where after game 153, he will not be active. So I know not to have him in the roster if I play the Yankees during that time near the end of the season, you know. And then, of course, he will be active in the postseason because he did play in the postseason. He will be active in the postseason. He only played 2 games, but that doesn't matter. In my postseason, he'll be fully active. So sometimes you got to look at sometimes inside. Sometimes PC replay makes a few mistakes. You're borderline OCD. Can't play different games or to play something different. Yeah, like I said, that's one of the things that holds me back a little bit, like History Maker Baseball, getting a copy of History Maker Baseball and PC Replay Baseball. But I just don't like chart-based games. That's why I just dumped. That's why I dumped APA, because APA bored me. And Fall Classic is still a chart-based game, and it's still pretty much a chart-based game. Although you can use the fast action cards, but it's still a chart-based game. Clee Baseball Fan joins us here. The baseball fan, formerly known as Tribe Fan, now really wants to be known as Guardian Fan. Yeah, Action PC is a godsend. Action PC really is a godsend. It really is. It really is. Action PC Baseball, so much easier. And I simulate the season along with me. So as I play the games, I have Action PC Baseball simulate the season. Do you know who Action PC Baseball had winning the World Series in 1979? The Boston Red Sox. They beat the Montreal Expos 4-0. That's PC Replay. Total simulation. I didn't do a thing. I just let it simulate. That's all. The only thing I used it for was the rosters. So if today is April 10th, I'll simulate to the 13th, and then on the 13th, I'll go to the 2 teams that I have scheduled for Inside Pitch, check their rosters, make sure that I have their players, players ready. If they're not available, I turn them around in the pack so I know not to use them. I know not to use them. Okay, I keep them in the bag. So the only players I have are the players that were available during that day. That's all. Sebastian Stratt joins us. Welcome there, Mr. Stratt. Yeah, exactly. You can do that too. They're also MLC. And FastScore is just, I just like FastScore. Because I don't want to use any computer system. The only thing I use Action for is just getting the rosters. I use no stats no stats at all from Action PC Baseball. However, after the simulation, I do take a look and see what happened. And I get some very interesting results from Action PC Baseball in a simulation, straight sim. But Action is so much easier to use, and it's so easy to set up. Just so easy to set up. But, it's just, it's just that, it's just, that's just how it worked, how I use Action PC Baseball. And then, of course, I already have the game set up for the next day. That's all. It's kind of like, it's all repetitiveness. I can almost do it in my sleep. I can almost set up a game in my sleep right now, the way I have it set up. As soon as I get done with the game, as soon as I click off the, stream and it goes fades to black. All right. I immediately put the teams away for that time. Okay. And then just bring out the next teams, find the players who are supposed to be on, and get it all set up for the next day. That's all. Yes, the pitcher is always considered playing in. So even if you're set up at double play depth, you do not get the double play modifier. So yes, on a G1, the pitcher is always in. The catcher is also always in. That's why the double play modifier doesn't mean anything. Okay. All right. On a G1 or a G2, the double play modifier only comes into play with G3, G4, G5, and G6. And remember, on a G3, the runner on a G3, the first baseman does not get the modifier because he's considered holding a runner on. He's not going to get the modifier. So no double play. The BR gets reduced by 1. Correct. That's correct. Actually gets reduced. Yeah, actually gets reduced by 2 because he's considered in. Have you tried season ticket baseball? From Clay Dreslock. Dreslock or Dres. I don't know how to pronounce it. Clay Dreslock. No, I've not. I have downloaded the teams though. I took a look at it. Too many calculations. The way Kurt Bergling did a very good demonstration of it, and I just felt there were too many calculations to resolve a play. I understand you want to make the game as real as possible, but there were just too many calculations for season ticket baseball. Just too many. I love the one thing I do like about it though was the card layouts. I love the card layouts. Nice and big, lots of numbers. Very easy to read. If anything, Clay Dreslock did make a game that's very pleasing to the eye. That is for sure. I can't take away his ability for artwork. That man knows how to put together some beautiful looking game. It's true. That's a beautiful game. But just too many calculations to play. The one thing I like about Inside Pitch, there really are no calculations except for checking on a double play. It was the game I was using for some rare plays, but then I looked through it again. I said, you know what? I really couldn't use it. For the rare plays. I really wish that Chris, when I talked to Chris, when he was doing version 3, I was hoping he would do more than just this and that for rare plays. I really was. I mean, I could create my own rare play chart. I know the game system well enough where I could probably create a rare play chart for every base running situation. Man on first, man on second, man on third, runner first and second third, second and third, bases loaded. I could probably do it. But I just leave it alone. Just let it, because obviously, that's how it works there. So, yeah. Yeah, Payoff Pitch has nice new rare plays. I'll admit. He did a very nice job on the rare. That's one thing Payoff Pitch definitely needed was more rare plays. Absolutely. But, no, season ticket baseball, it's a gorgeous looking game. Too much to remember. I'd rather just look at the card, and I get what I want, and that's it, without having to check a chart or without having to add +1 or -1, unless of course all I'm doing is checking for run advancement. So one thing I like I said, Inside Pitch, only the bunt chart and the squeeze bunt charts are the only charts that resolve a play in Inside Pitch. Every play is decided by the dice. You still have to roll the dice to see if a runner goes from first to third. You still have to roll the dice to see if he scores. You still have to roll the dice to see what kind of hit it's going to be, or if it's a ground out, or if it's a strikeout. The dice resolve every single play except for bunts and squeeze plays. Hit and runs, still decided by dice. Stolen bases, still decided by a very evil D20. Very evil D20. And baseball demos will know when we talk about the evil D20 in stealing bases. Yeah, 95%, a 1 to 19 he steals, and I roll a 20. Yeah. I don't know how many times I had a runner going from first to second had a 70 to at least a 70 or a 75% chance to steal second, and he got thrown out. Status Pro is Status Pro Advanced. Status Pro Baseball is awesome. I have never played Status Pro Advanced, though. So I can't make any discussions on Status Pro Advanced. But Status Pro Baseball is awesome. I had a copy of it long ago. The fast action cards are excellent. And you can play Status Pro in a hybrid format with dice if you want. You just need a couple of D8s and you'll be okay. You can do Status Pro Baseball in a hybrid format as well with the dice. You can use it. You can do it that way. All right. But really, the card engine actually in Status Pro is pretty good. The only problem I have using cards to decide a game, once that card is pulled, until you shuffle the deck, that card will not show up again. And that's one thing that I didn't like about some of the fact for like Fall Classic. Because once I pull that card won't show up again until I shuffle. Truth be told, if you really want the fast action, if you really want to get as much randomness out of the fast action card deck, you really need to shuffle it after every single batter. But, I understand why you're not really supposed to do that, but you're really supposed to shuffle so after one batter, reshuffle. Next batter, reshuffle. Pretty much to get the full randomness of the deck. I understand there are many numbers that are duplicated and all that stuff, but still, reshuffle it. I would think maybe, though, an easier way would be, if you're playing a fast action card, a fast action game like Status Pro, get 3 fast action card decks. After the first 3 innings, take that first deck, put it aside, get the next one. It's already set, ready to go. Don't have to worry about shuffling. It's already shuffled. I don't know. If you want to simulate a game, you want to be able to picture it in your mind. Excessive chart lookup takes me out of the immersion. I agree with you there, MLC. I agree with you there. As I said, too many chart lookups. You mentioned 1908 or like some dead ball seasons. Damn straight, I love dead ball. I would love it if Chris could do 1919 an inside pitch. Who would not want to play the Chicago Black Sox against the Reds in 1919? Come on. I would love to do a dead ball. I would love to do that World Series. I love to do that season. I would throw that season into the season selection card. Sure. 1919 would be a blast. 1920, yeah, would be a blast. 1927 is not dead ball. 1908 would be a blast. 1915 is supposed to be one of the better dead ball era seasons. Come on, how would you not want to have players such as Ed Delahanty, Christy Mathewson, Cy Young, who would you not want to do that? Yeah, 1908 had a great pennant chase, one of the best ones. I would love to do dead ball. And he can do it. He just hasn't decided what he wants to do in order to create it. But of course I like dead ball seasons. Babe Ruth pitching, yes, 1906. 1903, the first ever World Series. Come on, dead ball is great. Christy Mathewson, maybe the best dead ball. I know what they want to say about Cy Young. I think Christy Mathewson was better. Christy Mathewson was a terror on the mound. He was one of the greatest of all time. Christy Mathewson, awesome pitcher. Like I said, maybe the best dead ball pitcher era ever. Probably. I know how good Cy Young was, but Mathewson I thought was actually the better pitcher. I don't know, Shoeless Joe. I would love to do Shoeless Joe Jackson, the Willie Mays of his time. Shoeless Joe Jackson was the Willie Mays of his time. He was the dead ball era Willie Mays. He was the best. Man could hit, he could run, and he could field. He was the Willie Mays of his time. Shoeless Joe Jackson should be in the Hall of Fame. Then Kennesaw Mountain Landis. He's got to, with all the changes that have been made to baseball lately, you know what? By putting the stupid ghost runner on second and all that, you know what? You can put Shoeless Joe Jackson in the friggin' Hall of Fame. Well, hopefully by the time you play all the seasons, you should have those seasons done. Do you look for more of the accuracy of the replay, playability, and or how fun it is? What's more important of these? Thanks again. Fun. I mean, the accuracy of the replay, the only way I can really do to really check the accuracy of a replay is if I do a full 162 or 154 team replay of one team. I don't want to do that. I like playing all the teams. So, like for the 1986 Mets that I would like to do in Strat, which I may do, I think I'm going to wait till Baseball Demos gets done with his 86 season before I try to start an 86 Mets replay for Strat. I may just wait for him to do that. I don't want to do 2 1986 seasons together. That's why, Dave, I was actually even though I would love to have done 1986, I'm actually glad that during the selection show, 86 was removed. because you're doing it right now, and I really did not want to overlap. I'm really surprised that how close that vote was between 1961 and 1992. One vote, guys. One vote. One vote. One vote. The thing about it is the funny thing is I have right now I have 455 subscribers, but I only got 53 votes in the comments. Very very disappointing, guys. If you guys did not make a vote in my comments for the selection show this season, you better make it in the next one. And yes, there will be another selection show when we before to do the 1961 World Series. I'm actually thinking of maybe doing a selection show in parts. I may actually thinking instead of just doing one selection show, I may do a couple, and maybe I don't know. I'm thinking about maybe upgrading the selection show a bit. I'm keeping it the same way, but I may upgrade it. I don't know. We'll see. Because I know the selection show, everybody loves that because they all want their season. They all want their season. They all would like to see their season played. But yeah, no, I mean, playability, inside pitch, in my opinion, I mean, the learning curve of inside pitch may be a little high, but once you get it down, it's. You see how smooth I play, how quickly I play a game of inside pitch. If I didn't have to announce it, I can get. If I didn't have to announce it, okay, I could get through a game of inside pitch in less than 40 minutes. That's all. JT Dutch joins us here before the stream ended. We're not going anywhere yet. Beatles Eternally. Beatles Eternally is nothing but just a band on the run. And as far as I'm concerned, Beatles Eternally, if I give you a song from either the Beatles or from the 4 solo artists, it counts. So you are the band on the run, Paul McCartney. So that counts. It doesn't have to be a song from the Beatles. It can be a song from one of the 4 as well. So that's your song for the day. That's your song for the. That's just because I know since you happen to be a big fan of the Beatles, I'm pretty sure you'll love them all. McCartney, Lennon, Starr, and of course Harrison. I'm sure you'll love them all as soloists as well. The only band in history, the Beatles, the only band in history where they are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and every single member is in there solo. They're the only one in there. The Beatles are in there in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. McCartney is in there on his own. Harrison is on there on his own. Lennon is in there on his own. And Starr is in there on his own. And the funny thing about Ringo Starr, he's the richest of them all. He's the richest of his all. He really is. Ringo Starr is the richest of them all because he's a producer. And he has Barbara Bach. Barbara Bach. Ringo Starr is married to Barbara Bach. Life is so unfair. It just is. Anyway, and let's see here. JT, let's see here. Actually, no. Donnie Marie, no. No, Julian Lennon doesn't count. It's much too late for goodbyes. That is true. Julian Lennon doesn't count. But yeah, so I just felt that to me, I really think it's fun. The most important thing is got to be fun. It's got to be. You got to have fun playing the games. You don't have fun playing the game. You don't have fun playing the game. Why play it? Would 1979 get my vote as the most fun season so far? I had a blast playing it. I had a blast doing 1981. I had a blast doing 85. I had a blast doing 76. Every season has had a game, a game of the year where, a great game where it was a game of the year, I mean, 1976, we had what? We had Mike Schmidt do a natural cycle, single, double, triple, home run. The only time I had that done. 1994 in payoff pitch, we had a no-hitter. 1985 in payoff pitch in the NLDS between the Cardinals and the Expos. The craziest game I ever rolled. 1981 had a couple of awesome games there as well, including the Yankees upsetting the Dodgers in that World Series. But 1979 may have been the best postseason I ever did because of all the game of the years that were in there. The Angels, I didn't think the Angels would win it, JT. I had no clue. When I looked at the start of the season, I said, okay, here are your favorites in this season. Orioles, because they had the best record. Reds, because they were always good. All right. Pirates, because they historically won it all. Expos, because they were good. Okay. You never count, and of course the Yankees. And the Yankees, like I said, every time anybody asks me how good I think the Yankees are going to be, I said there's 27 reasons why they can win the World Series. So the Yankees too. I did not have the Angels at all winning it. I did not have the Angels at all. And I actually thought the Astros are going to win Game 7 of that World Series. But the way the dice rolled, Frank Tanana pitched the game of his life. He pitched the game of his life. The Brewers look like a favorite. Yes, Brian, they did too. The Brewers look like a favorite. They did, but I didn't think on their pitching though. They look like a favorite, but the pitching to me, wasn't impressed with. The team with the best pitching that I was impressed with really was the Expos. Their bullpen was the best bullpen they had of the bunch, but their starting pitching wasn't that great. Starting pitching wasn't that great. I know, right? If you feel it's such a marathon, any team within 5 or 6 games the first legitimate contender, especially since I go ahead and I take the top 3 teams or top, amount of teams in the playoffs. So I make the playoffs a bit more interesting. It gives teams a better chance. It gives teams gives other teams a chance to get in there. For 1961, we're going to take the top 5 teams in the American League and top 4 teams in the National League. Because remember, in 1961, the American League had 10 teams with the new Los Angeles Angels and the Washington Senators. Okay, because the old Senators moved to Minnesota. And then the 1961 National League only had the 8 teams. The Mets and the Colt 45s didn't show up until the next year. But, so I'm going to take the top 5 and the top 4. But they have to have a winning. The 5 or the 4 have to have a winning record. If they do not have a winning record, I will modify the playoff format. I'll modify the playoff format at the proper time. They must have winning records. No 500, no 81-81. You got to be at least 82-80. You got to be at least 82-80 or 82-80 or what? 78 and 76. Yeah, no 500 or worse. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. No, not this time. Truthfully, the Dodgers should not have even played in the playoffs. I should have put the second place, the 4th place team in the National League East was the Cardinals. They should have gotten in. I should have put the Cardinals in because the Dodgers did not make it. We're not going to make that mistake again. But that's another thing, baseball demos. The one thing about Inside Pitch, the game seems to almost never be over no matter the score. Just ask the Twins. 7-0 lead. And the Indians come right back. Just ask the Brewers. Just ask the Brewers. The Brewers, 2 outs, top of the 9th inning, leading the Yankees 7-2. The dice said, nope, we're gonna put the Yankees into the ALCS. I may have made a few mistakes. Maybe I may have made an error, like bringing in a different pitcher. But still, even if I bring in a different pitcher, I don't know how that dice is going to roll the next time I bring that pitcher in. I had no idea it was going to roll on, what was it? His home run result. Reggie Jackson would just bomb it. You don't know these things until you actually roll the dice. Inside Pitch actually created 9th inning magic. It did. Digital baseball sims. Out of the park, I do play, but I play that offline. Out of the park, I play. And I do action PC baseball replays on occasion, but that's pretty much it. And PC replay, I do have the game, but the problem with PC replay is just the seasons they got for PC replay are just really not that interesting. Because as much as Chris is missing the 1990s and the 2000s for inside pitch, replay doesn't have hardly any 80s. They only have what 3 80s seasons and inside and PC replay. What is it? 80, 81, and 85. 81, 84, and 85, and that's it. No 86. No 86, no 87, no 88. 90s, they don't have any 90s. They got then they don't have any 90s. Hardly have any 90s teams. No 97, no 90, no 98. I mean, that's the problem. That's the problem with PC. That's the problem with replay baseball. Not enough seasons. But what does Fall Classic and APA have over some of these things? They have every single season. So, they have every single season. So if you want to play the 1952 season in Fall Classic or APA, they got it. You want to play the 1936 season in Fall Classic APA, they got it. But there are only a certain different seasons of dead ball era and older seasons that I want to play. The one thing I'm looking forward to for 1961, this is a season I wasn't alive yet. I was born in 69. So 1961, I'll be playing a season that I don't know hardly, I've never seen the season. I never watched it. I mean, 79 I watched, 81 I watched, 85 I watched, of course, and 76, I was very young, but I did know about baseball in 76. I did have that. So I understand people don't like, the steroid years of the 90s and the 2000s, but I still love the steroid years in the 90s and 2000s. Watching the home run chase between Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa in 1998, that was a blast. Of course, nobody knew there was on the juice at the time, but it was a blast. It was a blast. The 2001 season, maybe the greatest regular season team in baseball history, the 2001 Seattle Mariners. But they didn't make it to the World Series. The Yankees beat them. How many wins did they have? 116 wins? That team was amazing and didn't do, and still the Mariners are the only franchise to not go to the World Series yet. Is Pepsi one of my sponsors? No. Pepsi is not sponsoring this video, please. Thank you. That's the thing about it. I mean, the 90s, that's why I tell them. I mean, come on. I'm 53 years old. The 90s, I grew up watching the 90s baseball and the early 2000s. That's why I told them, Chris, you got a lot of people here that watched baseball during the 90s and the 2000s. You got to do those seasons. They want to play them. They want to play the 90 Reds. They want to play the 97 Marlins. They want to play the 94 Expos. They want to play the 2001 Mariners. They want to play the 2004 Red Sox. They want to play the 2005 White Sox. I mean, come on. 2002, exactly. I would love to see someone replay the Angels and the Giants in 2002. That was a great World Series. Angels couldn't throw a ball and he crushed it. Oh yeah, I know what Dan Douglas talking about. The one that disappeared in the vapor in the sky. Yeah, that ball I think is still in orbit. I think that ball is still orbiting the Earth. I don't know. Maybe it hit maybe somebody. I don't know. I still say one of the hardest hit balls I ever saw was was David Ortiz when he hit one in the 2004 in the 2003 World Series. Somebody needed to call the International Space Station. There might be a baseball heading for it. Wonder how 2002 Moneyball A's were doing inside pitch. Everyone talks about Moneyball and the 2002 A's. Everyone talks about, how, Moneyball and that the A's, did it with hardly any, with nobodies like Hatterberg and, Jeremy Giambi. Everyone seems to forget on the 2002 Oakland Athletics, they all seem to forget who was pitching. They all seem to forget that the A's had three of the best pitchers in baseball in 2002. Zito, Hudson, and Mulder. They all forget the pitching staff. So they don't mention that at all. They don't mention it all in the 2002 Moneyball, which is great, by the way. But the names Zito, Mulder, and Hudson never are. I don't believe those three names are ever said. You all forget that in Moneyball, yeah, you had Hatterberg and a has-been David Justice, but they didn't mention the three of the best pitchers in baseball that year, and they were. Yeah, Zito had one of the best 6-9 curveballs of his prime, and Hudson had an awesome, wicked slider. You find it funny when people say they want to see more young people, how about they play 60s, 70s, and 80s seasons. Exactly. That's why you got to get the 90s and the 2000s. Those when people were born. That's why I tell them you got to get the 90s and the 2000s. I keep on telling them, I said, that's why I tell Chris, I said, you got to get the 90s and the 2000s done. You're gonna have, if you can get all the 90s and the 2000s done, you will have more seasons than payoff pitch. You'll have more seasons than replay baseball. You'll have more seasons than a whole bunch of other game than Stratomatic. Strat has no seasons. I'm sorry, Stratomatic, they got nothing. They're only now just beginning to remaster 80 seasons and that, but they got nothing either. Stratomatic. They hardly have any 90. Do they have a 90? I think they got 1998. I think they got that season. I don't know. Stratomatic's got no seasons. That's why I told him. That's why I went to Chris. I said, Chris, you got to get the 90s and 2000s. The only two games that beat Chris right now inside pitch in 1990s and the 2000s is APA and Fall Classic. And that's it. Nobody else. Not even some of the other games like 4th Street Baseball, which look a little confusing to me, but yeah. How long do you think it takes Chris to research, rate, and produce a new season? Well, let's put it this way. 1963 and 2021, he released what? In February or March, I think. But he had to redo those seasons a couple of times because some of his numbers were off. But he fixed them completely. They're fine now. He just released 1960 and 1987. And that was in May. So he released 1960 and 1963 and 2021 in February, and he released 1960 and 1987 in May. How you doing there, Keith, Mr. Keith White? So obviously it takes him maybe about 2 to 3 months. He could probably do it quicker if he wasn't doing his other games as well. He's working on right now the new basketball season. He's doing 2021, 22 for basketball, and of course 2021, 22 for hockey, and of course he'll do a historical season, of course, for hockey and basketball as well. Would you recommend using 2 facts for payoff pitch variety of results or shuffling them? I got payoff pitch, Chris DeMello, and I have 3 sets of fast action cards. 3 sets. I used 1 set per 3 innings. Didn't have to worry about shuffling. But after playing inside pitch, and after playing, the way the dice rolled and everything, I just can't really go to any other baseball game. I really can't. I'm looking forward to doing some Stratomatic, but I already know playing it, I'll enjoy it, but it's not going to give me that X factor that payoff pitch gets every time I roll the dice, because I have no idea what's going to happen. I'm sorry. Inside pitch to me is the most exciting tabletop baseball game you could play. Just look at the games I rolled in that postseason. And you get every player. The Stratomatic, do you get every player? Oh yeah, no, you got to have the card viewer in order to get that, or the PC game, and then do a screenshot and download. That's ridiculous. Stratomatic doesn't give you every player. Appa at one point didn't give you every player, but now they do. Appa now gives you every player. Some of their seasons they still don't, but they're still remastering some of their older seasons so you can get every player. You don't use the fact for see where base hits go and base stealing. Yeah, that's fine, Brian. That's fine. But some teams you don't get all the players. Sometimes you don't get all the players. So how can you do a full season replay if you don't have all the players? Inside pitch, you get all the players. You just got to download them from the website. They're free. Just print them out on cardstock, like I did. Print them out on cardstock. If you're worried about making sure they're the correct size, get the PDF. Get a PDF editor. Remove the lines. Remove the white margins, and then when you print the cards out, before you print them at 104%, and you get practically perfect size fringe player cards that match the same size. After you cut them, that come the same size as the actual perforated card. It's quite a challenge to broadcast inside pitch games. Quite a challenge. Oh. How do you mean challenge? Like to set it up or something like that? But yeah, it can be. Dave has a challenge to broadcast any game. He wants to make sure that everything is, is set up, perfectly. But the one thing I learned when I first started this was this is an audio and a visual thing, and that's why I got the board that I got, because I knew it fit the cards right. The scoreboard, my mechanical scoreboard and such. This thing, I wanted to be audio and visual. If people are going to watch me do this, I want them to watch something, not just hear it. You're curious and probably because you're paying attention to the strategy roll. Please explain the role of its use. The strategy roll is kind of like a bench coach. I use it like a bench coach. The strategy roll gives me the option of stealing, a hit and run, or a bunt, or of course a chance of a pickoff. And I use it, and I use it as a bench coach. It does not hard and fast. I once tried doing it hard and fast, and some of the rolls just did not make sense. Like, are you really going to bunt when you're down 5-0? No, you're hitting away. So it just gives me the option to do it. Tony's Board Life joins us here. Good to see. When's the war game starting back up? Hopefully soon, maybe. I wanted to maybe do something here. I mean, I got 5 weeks to play with before I start 1961. Haven't decided yet what I want to do. I want to do Marvel Champions. Like I said, Tony, I just don't have enough room on this darn desk. I want to put Pacific War on the desk. I really can't. I don't have the room. I want to put Pack War. I got Memoir 44 I can't put on this desk. I just don't, and I really don't have, and I don't live in a home where I can set up everything the way I want. So, strategy roll forces guys like me to steal a realistic amount of time, otherwise woefully low in attempts. True, yes, sure, Dan, you can do that too. Like I said, you can play it hard and fast. If it tells you to steal, steal. If it tells you to bunt, bunt. If it tells you to do a hit and run, hit and run. Another reason why a strategy roll, of course, is for pickoff attempts. If a pitcher has a pickoff chance on his card, and even though the base runner has an N next to his attempt, you still need to roll a strategy roll to see if the pitcher tries to pick him off. What is the decisive roll in the D20 to determine your options, the results? I don't know. Every time I come up with a decisive roll, it still doesn't go the way I always expect. I always seem to get a different outcome. So if my decisive roll, if I get a 70 or 75% chance to steal, he still gets thrown out. I mean, the D20 is evil. Just ask Dave at Baseball Demos. He knows what I'm talking about. D20s are evil. They are evil. Stage fright and your inability to complete a thought precludes me from trying you to. Well, come on. I remember the first game I've done before I rolled that payoff pitch game. Okay. My first ever payoff pitch game, which is in my best games, that first ever cards and dice game I ever rolled when everything was still upside down before I set the camera up where I would be able to have it right side up without having to get some computer program to do it. You know, I really was. I had done PC replay baseball. I did not action PC baseball. I did Stratomatic baseball. I did that, just as an audio. But I got bored of it that way. That's why I decided to do the cards and dice. Keith Turnus joins us here. Welcome, Mr. Keith. Good to see you. Welcome to the network. Inside Pitch, Fall Classic, NPNG. Plus, I totally forgot about National Pastime. I totally forgot about that game. Totally forgot about that. Another app, an Appa clone, but maybe even better. A better Appa clone, probably. NPNG Plus, for lack of a better description of the game. No, what result on the D20 determines the strategy. Just trying to understand. Oh, what determines the strategy? On a D20, you look at the bat. You look at the batter. The runner on first, and for like an instance, the runner on first. Let's say he has an attempt of 5, and the pitcher has a 0 to the left of his hold rating and his steal rating. So if you roll a D20 and it's a 1 to 5, the runner on first tries to steal second base. A hit and run occurs if the roll is a little higher than the 5, but you go by the modification of a hit and run. Utilizing the modifications here. Not good glare here, unfortunately, because I don't have my thing switched. And this camera is not my 4K. But still, you can see right here on modifications for a hit and run. A bunt is for a batter 16 to 19, a bunt rating of 5 is going to try a bunt with a runner on first and 0 to 1 out. Pitchers are like 10 to 19 for bunts. And of course, if you roll a 20, the pitcher is doing a pickoff attempt. Remember, I'm going to do a demo game. So again, remember, I have demo games in my playlists. I will do a demo game for 1961 the week before I start the next season. Okay, it'll be the Reds and the Yankees because those two played in the World Series in 61. It'll be at Old Yankee Stadium. I already have the lineup set up for that. And of course, I will go through once again a game of inside pitch, slow roll by roll, outcome by outcome, the way I did it. In other words, I always do a demo game, I'll always do a demo game before the season starts so you guys can see how it works. When I play my games, I really don't want to teach it. When I'm playing, I'm just rolling. I don't want to teach it. Just rolling to go right through the motions so you can see what happens. That's all. You get to see what the pitcher rolls and what the batter rolls. And of course, I'll tell you what roll is needed for a runner to roll, what base runner where he's got to get to second or third base or something like that. But you should try it, Brian. What have you got to lose? Nothing wrong with it. You don't have to scream. You don't have to scream like I do. Oh, you're very welcome, midlife crisis. You don't have to scream like I do. That's the one thing. See, our Red Sox fan is a combination of me and Dave. Dave at Baseball Demos is very laid back. He just gives you the information, shows you what it is, and just gives you the result. I do it very loud. Okay, and my mom actually gets upset with me a little bit because I scream and I hurt my voice a little bit, but that's because I get excited into it. Okay. And Al Red Sox fan is like a combination of the two. He can get as loud as I can, but he can also get very, very mellow and just get right down to the action. That's why I say Al Red Sox fan is the king of the hill, because he does it all and he does it so well. And of course, Anthony Bleacher Bums Gaming is also a very good teacher. And he's got probably the best tabletop game there is, Glory Days Boxing. Oh yeah, I should do a game of Glory Days Boxing, shouldn't I? I guess I should. You know? So much we do here. There's so much we do. There's just so many games to play and try. You really can't play them all. And everybody has their favorite. So play your favorite. If Stratomatic is your favorite, play Strat. If Appa is your favorite, play Appa. If Payoff Pitch is your favorite, play Payoff Pitch. Second season football, play second season. Play the games you have the most fun. If the game is not fun, don't play it. Don't play it because other people want you to play it. I got people ask me to play certain games that I don't have, and I watched them and I said, nah, it doesn't look fun to me. You know? If it's not fun, don't play it. It's not fun, don't play it. Why play it? Watch if you want to watch, like for instance, I mean, if what game was, let me see here. PC Replay is a game that I don't think I'd have much fun with it because I just don't like charts. But watching like Dave at Baseball Demos do it, or Al Red Sox fan did it one time, the way they roll it, I like watching them play it. You can see an action PC basketball game. I tried doing that too. You know what? Believe it or not, I really don't like action PC basketball or the football or the hockey game anymore. I really don't. Not as much as I used to. They're great, but action, as I said, action PC baseball, action PC's got the best replay engines. But I just felt that really cards and dice is the best way to do it. You can't cheat. You really can't cheat. I mean, you can, but why would you want to? So let's say I go ahead and roll that Reggie Jackson home run, and I say, oh, he got a home run. Now I'm just gonna say he flies out just so the Yankees are kicked out. Come on. Why cheat? If you're gonna cheat playing against yourself, that's embarrassing. You know, when you play chess against yourself, but you want to cheat against yourself, that's just ridiculous, I think. I think that's kind of ridiculous. Good thing I got plenty more soda in the fridge. Jackson did fly out. Yeah, he did fly out. He did fly out. That ball flew right out of the park. That ball flew right out of County Stadium, Steeler fan. You're right. Jackson did fly out. That ball flew right out of the park. What is the football game you play the most? I have a copy of Second Season. That's really the only football game I have. You know, I still have a copy of Whoa Nelly, but after playing that a few times, I went, meh. It wasn't exciting. You just like to win one World Series. Hell, I would just like my Mets to win to get to the World Series. Couldn't do it. I thought my 76 Mets had a very good chance to get there. They couldn't beat the Phillies. My 81 Mets were bad, and my 79 Mets were terrible. And now you guys got me playing 1961. Well, I don't have the Mets. And I don't have the Mets. I'm sure Steeler fan's not happy. He doesn't have his Colt. He doesn't have his Astros or his Colt 45s to root for. Who are you going to root for in 1961, Steeler fan? I know you're going to root for the New York Yankees, aren't you there, Steeler fan? You're going to root for Mickey Mantle and Maris and Whitey Ford. You're going to root for the New York Yankees in 1961, aren't you, Steeler fan? I'm pretty sure you will. I know you voted for 1961. I know you did. Absolutely. But I don't have my Mets, so I have no Mets to watch. That's okay. That's fine. There was baseball before the Mets. There was baseball before the Mets, and that's fine. I don't know who you root for. I know Astros fans can never root for the Yanks. I know that. You know, you could get Apple football and have fun with it like a digester. Oh, hell no. Apple football. I watched a little bit of that video. I said, I have no idea what this means. He's got all these cards, and yet they don't. I don't think you even reference more than you got a team of 50 cards, and I think you're only referencing what 5 or 6 of them, and that's it. The rest don't even come into play. I don't know. Apple football doesn't make any sense to me. Apple football doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get Apple football. I don't get that. Status Pro football, I actually pretty like too. There was a game I had that I almost picked up another copy of called Pro Football Phantasm. Now, you probably never heard of it. It came out in 1990 and it only did one season. I think it did the 1989 or 1990 season. Pro Football Phantasm. Well done game, actually, I thought. I actually did a whole season with that, with the Dolphins. Made it to the Super Bowl. Lost to the Niners, though. But, yeah, for football, though, you had that. Yeah, G-Puck. You had, Pro Football Phantasm. Great game. It was. It was a great game. I could have gotten a copy of it. It was I had eBay likes to have it once in a while. I could have gotten a copy of it. Stratomatic hockey. Stratomatic hockey. There's somebody on eBay selling the 95-96 Stratomatic hockey game unopened. Pretty much mint. I'm almost willing to pull the trigger on that, but Stratomatic. The problem is I'm not going to get all the players. Yes, Avalon Hill sports games were great. Status Pro basketball, pennant race, Status Pro football, Status Pro baseball. They were all, pay dirt, bowl bound. Yes, Status Pro. They were one of the ways you could really play a sports game back in the day. Avalon Hill, they knew how to make sports games. They really did. They gave Stratomatic a run for their money. Plus, Avalon Hill gave you all the players. Strat still didn't. Strat needs to expand the card viewer to hockey or just make the non-original players available. I know. That's a thing. You can't get the original players. They need to cut the hockey and basketball and football. Braves see if they get that 4th National League playoff spot. Yeah, like I said. I mean, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to. Inside the crease is excellent. I want him to do the night. I liked Inside the Crease. I stopped playing it, not because I didn't like the game, but because I just didn't like the season I was playing. I was playing the 2015-2016 season. I said I told him you need to get me the 95-96 season, the Panthers with John Van Beesbrook and such when they went play for the Cup. That's the season I want to play. That's one of the reasons why I got the APA version of that. But after playing APA a few times, as much as Dave Gardner loves it, I just could not get into APA. Too many looking at the darn charts. I just couldn't do it. I really just couldn't do it. But yes, Inside the Crease is pretty awesome. It is. I'm looking forward to see what 1961 gives. I really am. I'm really looking forward to 1961. Should have some great postseason. We're going to have a good postseason. Not going to be so easy for the Yankees. They still have to get through a division series and a championship series and a World Series, so anything's possible. 1961 is going to be a blast. Mantle, Maris, Mazeroski, Mays, McCovey, Koufax, Drysdale, Spahn, Clemente, Kaline, a young Gibson. I mean, Flood. Come on, people. Cepeda, Marshall. Come on. What a really mini Minoso, yeah, Killebrew, Minoso, Mini Minoso, Nellie Fox. I mean, come on, we're talking legends here. We're talking legends here in 1961. Talking legends here. And yep, and in the fringe player cards, in the fringe players, by the way, 2 Hall of Famers, Joe Morgan and Lou Brock in the fringe players. Yes, Banks, Ernie Banks, Billy Williams, Ron Santo, Yogi Berra. I mean, come on. Unbelievable. And how about playing at the ballparks? Forbes Field, Connie Mack Stadium, a.k.a. Shibe Park, Busch Stadium, the old Busch Stadium, a.k.a. Sportsman's Park, Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, Los Angeles Wrigley Field, Griffith Stadium. Come on, Old Yankee Stadium. It's and yep, rookie Yaz, absolutely. Yastrzemski, his first year. And yep, Crosley Field, of course, where the Reds played, Crosley Field, before moving to Riverfront. Historical ballparks we're going to visit during that season. That's going to be a black. Nope, Seal Stadium. Nope, no Seal Stadium. Not in 1961. Nope, not in 1961. The Giants played in Old Candlestick. They were not in Seal Stadium in 61. They were played at Old Candlestick, which I actually was able to find a picture of for the ballpark. So no, they did not play at Seals. They played at Old Candlestick Park. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Now that's a strange park to play in. Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, LA Wrigley Field, Kansas City Municipal Stadium for the Kansas City Athletics, County Stadium for the Milwaukee Braves. Come on. Lots of historic ballparks we'll be visiting. Lots of historic ballparks. Yep, Old Candlestick just had bleachers in the outfield. That is correct. LA Wrigley Field. Yep. LA Wrigley Field, where the Los Angeles Angels play. So the Los Angeles Angels, who just won the World Series as the California Angels, as they get on the field for the first time in their history, they get a ring. And the only player in 1961 that will get a ring for 1979 is Willie Davis of the Los Angeles Dodgers. He is the only player in 1961 that is on the 1979 Angels winning that World Series. Would be fun playing the Pilots season sometime. Oh, yeah, 1969. That's a season. I have a funny feeling if 1969 ever comes up if 1960, I've already decided that if 1969 comes up, I might as well not even give you the other votes, because I know 1969 will be a season that will be chosen. 1969 is one of the most beloved seasons in baseball history, not just because the Mets won it all, but it's one of the most beloved seasons in history. All right, the 100th baseball season. I know if 1969 comes up, I said, forget about it. Forget about it. There'll be a few votes for everything else, but not everyone's going to want me to do 1969. Well, no, Brian, see, Yaz, 61 player that did play in 79. Yes, he did. But Willie Davis is the only player in 1961 that's going to get a ring for the Angels winning in 1979, Brian. Because he's the only player that was on the Angel roster in 1979. There, nobody else. Nobody else. He's the only player that was. And Willie Davis was in his, I believe, his second year of baseball. I think he started in 1960. 1961 was his second year with the Dodgers. He will get a ring, although he won't know what for, but he will get a ring. He's the only Angel player that will. Yeah, Angels pretty competitive at 61 for an expansion team. Yes, they were. They didn't stink. That team didn't stink, really. They played pretty well, the Angels, before they moved into Chavez Ravine. I think that's why 1982 didn't win close proximity to 1979. I was thinking about that too, but there may be another reason why that didn't win baseball demos. You already did 1982 in your game of the week last year. So I think maybe one of the reasons why 82 didn't come up was because it was only a few years from 1979. I remember, I had 1981, and then 1979 came up with a selection show, and you guys just went 2 years backwards. No reason why you guys couldn't have done 3 years forward. I would have no problem doing 1982. 82 would have been a fine year. None of your other championship players who played in 61. No. Nobody on the Angels. Nobody on the Angels, Bruce. There were players in 61 that were playing in 1979, of course, still. That's 18 years of baseball, but yes, there were. But only Willie Davis was on the Angel roster in 1979, and he's the only player in 1961 that will get a ring because he was the only player, that was on the Angels in 79. Nobody else was. So that's how that works. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Davis played a lot of games, so when we play the Dodgers, he will be in the lineup, I'm pretty sure. It's going to be a fun season, especially with those champs. Yes, no, other champions, yes, of course. I had players in 85 that won, the Astros in 85 that won it. When I went, the next season was what, 1976, and we had players in 76 that got rings because of the 85 Astros. I had players in 1981 that got rings due to the 76 Phillies, and I had players in 79 that won through the 81 Yankees. Can't think of one but Davis and Yaz. Yeah, pretty much. 1961. Carew didn't start playing yet. Rod Carew didn't start until 67. He didn't start till 67. So, and Nolan Ryan didn't start until that. Well, McCovey was playing baseball in 79, but he wasn't with the Angels. McCovey was with the Padres not Padres. Padres are Giants. Padres are Giants, McCovey. But yeah, we'll see McCovey. We'll see McCovey. We'll see Mays. We'll see Aaron. Oh, yeah, we're going to see some of the best. 1961, Sandy Koufax. That was the year he went 18 and 13. He was not the Sandy Koufax yet until 1962. That's when he became the Koufax. But he still had a great year, and he still led the league in strikeouts in 1961. Campanera started in 1964. Yes, that's correct. Campanera started in 64, exactly. When did Pop start playing? Stargell, I think, was what, in the later 60s. Stargell was the later 60s. Stargell wasn't. Stargell, I think, was later 60s. You remember the Pirates won a World Series at that time. 1962, that's right. Yeah, Stargell started in 1962. So he does, but then again, he doesn't get a ring because the Pirates didn't win the 79 series. No, we are family this year. No, we are family this year. Wow, I kept you guys here for 2 hours. I didn't expect to do for 2 hours. I guess I got to let you guys go. You guys got lives, You do have lives, don't you? You do have lives. I'm not playing baseball for 5 weeks, so I'm going to do other stuff. So you guys do have lives, right? If I'm not doing baseball, what are you guys going to do with your lives, for the next 5 weeks until July 18th when I start the 61 season? What are you guys going to do? You guys don't know, do you? You guys don't know. You need to watch Billy Crystal's 61 movie replay. There you go. Yeah. Guys, there's so many of you in the chat. I just can't say hello, goodbye to everyone. So you guys are excellent. Thank you for joining me. I just thought I'd do a state of the network. And Brad Church, thank you there joining us, but I'm about to sign off. So, I just thought I'd do a state of the network. Should I do a state of the network once a month or something, or once every other month? I don't know, maybe once every other month or once every 3 months, Al Red Sox fan, I think he does like one once a month or something. His friends of chat. So maybe I'll do another state of the network. What are we in June? Maybe I'll do one in August or something like that. Anyway, you guys are all terrific. I love every single one of you. Okay. You guys are great. And I do want to thank you for joining me tonight. Had a lot of good viewers today. Had like about over 30 viewers. So, So as usual, I always say, please leave a like on your way out to the turnstiles. Subscribe if you've not done so. And make sure you hit the bell. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay smart, stay strong. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, everyone. We'll catch you again. We'll do this again. It was a lot of fun. Good night, everyone.